Amen. So, I love the message Pastor Stovall did this morning. You know, just about peace. That's pretty good. We all want more peace. And I wanted to kind of continue that in a way where, you know, what is another way for us to have peace? And what I've been thinking about lately is love. You know, when we love other people, that is a peaceful state. You know, that is part of being peaceful. And when I was thinking about this, the question came to my mind, what is love? We all kind of think of love in different aspects. So I just kind of wanted to share what I felt love was, and then we can go and talk about it. The first story that comes to my mind when I think about love out of the Bible is the story of Zacchaeus. He was a tax collector. And not only was he a tax collector, but this guy was a very important, very popular, very wealthy tax collector. Because he was in a town called Jericho, which was like a crossroads where everybody passed through. So he got to tax everybody and anybody for anything. Very wealthy man. Well, for some reason, Zacchaeus, that wasn't enough for him. There was still this emptiness. And he found out Jesus was coming through Jericho. So he wanted to see him. So, you know, he quits doing everything that he's going to do, and he goes to meet Jesus. Well, the story goes that he was a really short man, so he had to climb up a sycamore tree just to be able to see him. You know, there's so many people, short guy like me, you know, couldn't see him. Not gonna happen. Poor Robert. I can relate, you know. And so he climbs up in this tree, and as Jesus walks by, he looks up in the tree and says, Zacchaeus, come down because I'm coming to your house. You know, the Son of God, you know, Jesus is going to come to Zacchaeus' house. This man who is clearly a sinner in everybody's eyes. Everybody knows what a tax collector is. You know, very evil person in that day. But Jesus wants to come to his house. So Jesus ends up coming to his house, having dinner. They end up talking, you know, and Jesus is able to save Zacchaeus from his ways. And he ends up repenting and giving back 4 times the amount of money he ended up taking. You know, and that story is just phenomenal, because when I was studying this, you know, the word Zacchaeus, when you translate it, it actually means pure. So this man who was a tax collector, who everybody saw as evil, his name actually meant pure. Okay, so when Jesus was traveling and he looks up in this tree and he sees this, you know, evil, sinful person that everybody hates, nobody loves, you know, he's just crooked. Jesus doesn't see that. He sees a man that is pure. You see, Jesus and God sees his heart. And for us, that's the way we should be looking at other people. You see, we should be looking at each and every person here through what you call a filter. You know, we have to filter what we see on the surface out. And that's really hard for us, because immediately we see, well, man, that person's kind of annoying. You know, they got a stupid laugh. You know? I wasn't pointing at you, Diego. Or that person's, you know, just horrible to be around. They never listen. You see, when we first meet someone, we see all these negative characteristics. We don't actually look through a filter, which we should be doing. Look past all that. Filter what we see on the surface. Filter appearances. Filter, you know, what people are going through in life. Filter all that away, and now look at a person's heart. Look what they've been through. Look where they're trying to go. Look at their struggles, because when you can look through all that, that's when you can actually start to love somebody and care for that person, for the person that they actually are. And the scripture I have to share for that is out of 1 Samuel 16:7. And it says, "For the Lord does not see men as man sees. For man looks at the outward appearance, but God, the Lord, looks at the heart." You know, and that just speaks total volume to what we should be doing. We should be looking past what we have so we can actually love and care for people. But you see, that's not easy. That's hard. You know, it's hard to look past the surface, because we actually look at ourselves on the surface. We see what we're going through on the surface. We see what we're going through now. And so it's hard for us to love others when we're so busy wrapped up in what we're doing. So actually, if you want to love and care for other people, you have to love yourself first. You have to have love on the inside. You have to have passion on the inside to be able to love and care for other people. And on that same mindset, a story came to my mind when I was younger. You know, my last name is Bass, so naturally I like fishing. That just kind of goes with my family. My little brother can testify to that. I mean, it's, you know, you're stuck with it. Even for dinner, my little brother had bass. I mean, come on now. That's just part of who we are. So I grew up fishing. And a lot of people love fishing. A lot of people. And one time, if any of y'all have ever been fishing, like deep sea fishing around the ocean, you have to get up early, like 3 o'clock in the morning. Start getting the boat ready. Start getting stuff lined up, you know, because you want to hit the water at dusk. You want to be going out there when the fish are waking up, not when you're waking up. You know? Catch them when they're sleepwalking. You know? So you want to be out there early, okay? So tradition was we would all get together. Someone would fill up the boat with gas. Someone would bring, you know, a lot of the reels. Well, there was always someone that filled up the ice chest, right? So we went out one morning, and one of my friends was like, hey, it's your turn to fill up the ice chest. I was like, all right, cool, you know, no big deal. So I dragged this big old huge ice chest out to the marina gas station, pull it inside, and you know, you got in convenience stores these huge windows of drinks, you know, just lines the back of the convenience store. So I'm looking, and as I'm standing there, I started to think, I was like, you know what? They didn't tell me what to get. He just said fill up the ice chest. But you know, I know what he wanted. They wanted me to get beer. I mean, come on, bunch of guys out fishing. We know what we want to do. They want to go out and drink beer. But I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to play a joke. I was like, I'm going to be funny. So I went and got Gatorade and just stuffed the ice chest full of Gatorade. Went and got ice and covered the top of it so they couldn't see it. You know? So I was like, this is going to be good. You know, like they think there's beer in here. So we put the ice chest in. You know, everybody's half awake anyways. So I throw the ice chest on the boat and we head out. We get out, we're fishing, you know, all the lines are out, we're sitting around waiting. All of a sudden everybody gets thirsty because it's hot like this. So, you know, one of the guys goes and reaches into the ice chest and he pulls out a Gatorade. He's like, oh, it's a Gatorade, this must be yours, Robert. So he tosses it to me. He pulls out another one. It's another Gatorade, man. So he just starts pulling out Gatorade. He's like, Robert, what did you do? Where's the beer? You know what I'm saying? He's like, come on, man. He's like, did you only buy Gatorade? Oh yeah, I bought different flavors. So they start getting mad. They're like, I cannot believe you bought Gatorade. They're like, this is horrible. You know, and I'm like, well, Gatorade's good for you. You know, I hydrate you. And then so they get so mad. Well, what ends up happening is everybody had nothing but a choice to drink Gatorade, right? That's all they had. That was all that's on the boat. You see, and that applies to our life. If you fill your heart on the inside with good things, the only thing that comes out is good. But if you have bad things on the inside, bad things are going to come out. If you have negativity on the inside, negativity is going to come out. But if you have love on the inside, and you fill your heart and you fill your soul with things that you should be good, things of God, then guess what? What's going to come out? Good things, right? And so when good things come out, that's what other people are going to see. That's what you're sharing. It's what's on the inside. So what you feel, you know, in my example, what's in your ice chest, what you're feeling on the inside, what you do in your own personal time to make yourself grow and feel better, is what you're going to be sharing with others. So that's super important for us to think about. And, you know, like I said, I want us to be feeling on the inside with love, because we should be sharing that love. And when you share love, that's what's going to help bring you peace, is when you're able to help others. Because you remember in the Bible where Jesus was actually questioned. He was asked, hey, what's the greatest commandment? You know, they were trying to test him. So what's the greatest? And he says, love the Lord your God. Okay? And then he goes on to say, the second is just like that, to love your neighbor as yourself. So the two greatest commandments is about love. Imagine that. So, you know, that's what we should be doing, is filling ourselves on the inside with love so we can pass that on to each and every